Broadcasting from the Community Service Radio Studio at the Pop Music Academy in Sellersburg, Indiana, welcome to Dangerous Subversive Radio. Prepare to open your mind and question everything.
Oh, you was talking about... Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
It's casual night here at Dangerous Subversive Radio. The tie will be back next week.
Gatlinburg.
Yes. I am your host, Tim
Orange
Ritalik, joined once again by the man behind the curtain, master engineer and producer Jackie Smith.
That's me.
And tonight by our good friend Russell Allen Martin.
Hello, everybody.
It is good
Again?
to have you back.
Thank you.
The Three Musketeers ride again.
We do.
Yes. Well, Russ, I would like to start tonight's show with a word from our sponsor. We are, in fact, broadcasting from the Community Service Radio Studios.
Woo-hoo. We are.
At the Pop Music Academy in Sellersburg, Indiana. Why the Pop Music Academy? You know, you may have wondered what some of this stuff you see in the background behind me is. Those are keyboards, microphones. We have an entire stage right here. A band could walk into this studio with nothing but their Starbucks cups and have a full rehearsal.
Man, that's fun.
They could. We do it all the time, every Monday night, as a matter of fact.
That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. The building may be small and unassuming, but inside lies a powerhouse of musical expertise and opportunity.
But wait, there's more.
Yes. Here we offer training in voice, guitar, bass, drums, and music theory. And I do get to say we.
Yes, it's we.
Because if you should choose to take up the bass at the beginning level, your instructor will be
Tim.
moi. Yes. Not only do you get top-notch instruction here, but there's also a supportive atmosphere in which not only the staff but your fellow students want you to succeed.
Yes.
I'm a student here. Russ is a student here. My whole family's are students here.
I teach myself here.
Yes, yes. And not only can you learn for yourself, you can join a band here. We are 2/3 of a band right here. My son is in a band.
Yes,
here.
he is, and he's quite good.
Oh gosh, the kid does not know how much talent he has. I still don't think he realizes it.
One day he may.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Anyhow, Pop Music Academy, 406 Pop Avenue, Sellersburg, Indiana. What's the telephone number here?
502-713-0003. Again, that's 502-713-0003.
We are always welcoming new students, especially students who would like to take up an instrument. So drop by and see us sometime. Well, we are going to be talking about healthcare tonight.
So, let's get on with the show, right?
Yeah,
let's go to the
get on with
show. Yes.
Hey, Tim, I'm going to can you, so I can't really see that too well. I'm going to ask you to read that too if you can.
This graphic with the lovely doctor and nurse says, they have an obligation to provide healthcare services for you, whether they want to or not, whether they get paid or not. Why? Because you have a right to healthcare. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
It's we're not only going to have this conversation on healthcare tonight, we're probably going to have another one in the near future. It's that big a subject.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to make a lot of people angry tonight, so before we start receiving a bunch of hate mail or maybe even death threats, because that seems to be the next tool out of everyone's toolbox these days. Seriously, a little while ago, it was whoever screams the loudest is right. Now it's whoever screams the loudest and first is right. So before we even get into any of that, let me say that I fully realize that there are people out there who are in poor, ill health and in urgent need of medical care through no fault of their own. They may have hereditary diseases or environmental diseases. They may have been in accidents that have left them debilitated. They may live in food deserts. Those actually exist. If you don't know what a food desert is, it's an area, usually a poor urban inner city area, where people do not routinely own cars. They do not have a lot of mobility. And the food stores there do not sell healthy, nutritious food. They sell junk food. Those actually exist. So when Michelle Obama talked to you about food deserts, that just goes to show you that a stopped clock is right twice a day. So Even after you account for all of those people, there are still billions of people on this planet to whom everything we're going to say tonight applies. But when it comes down to it, everyone deserves healthcare, right? Everyone needs healthcare. Everyone deserves to be healthy. And through going to our doctors and receiving health care, we stay healthy, correct? Correct, Ross?
He's afraid to say anything because there's usually a twist here.
I think that's a loaded question is what I think that is.
What I'm saying is everyone needs a
Why,
doctor,
sure.
right?
Well,
Sure.
I
Wait a
agree.
second. Sorry about that. Everyone needs a doctor.
Hey,
I
was
agree
that
with
Doctor
that.
Who?
It was.
Okay.
Yes. Actually, not so much. Your doctor doesn't make you healthy. Your doctor treats your symptoms when you get sick. You know, in a lot of Asian cultures, people fire, if people get sick, they fire their doctor
Wow.
because it was his job to keep them healthy. Okay. So everybody is going to need health care at some point in their lives, right? I mean, you may very well need diapers at some point in your life.
Well, I don't
Are you going
know
to start
that.
wearing them now? I don't think so. So the fact is, if your car is brand new and running like a top, you don't need a mechanic. If the sun is shining outside and there's not a cloud in the sky, you don't need an umbrella. And if there's nothing wrong with you health-wise, you don't need a doctor. Now, is it a good idea to maintain a relationship with a doctor?
Yeah.
I would
Is it a
agree.
good idea to have a checkup once a year?
Sure.
Yeah, just like if you're doing professional activities where someone is likely to sue you, it's a good idea to maintain a relationship with a lawyer. But on any given day when you're not being sued, you don't need that lawyer. Okay.
So we have relationships with our money investing type people and our bankers and all that sort of thing. So yeah, and you always come out better off by having these types of relationships.
Well, yeah, yes.
So
But do you
I agree,
need them
I agree.
do you need them to start your business at the beginning of the day?
no.
There you go. Okay. So the fact is, health care does not keep you healthy. Okay. Health care does not make you healthy. Your doctor does not make you healthy. And your doctor knows this. Now, is your doctor likely, is yours or anybody else's doctor likely to tell their patients that? Probably not. And there's a good reason for that. There are over 900,000 doctors in this country. Their income starts out at an average of about $129,000 a year.
I think I'm in the wrong profession, Tim.
Yeah, if they're a specialist, many of them make $200,000 a year and up. Now, have you ever stood outside a hospital and just looked at the building? I mean, they are huge, huge buildings. You might wonder what it costs to build one of these things. Well, to build the average hospital, and there are over 5,556 hospitals in the United States. And probably a few more since that statistic came out. On average, to build one of these hospitals costs $1.5 million per bed.
Whoa.
And many of them have hundreds of beds. Okay, then add in all the people who work there, all the nurses, therapists, technicians, support staff, food service people, janitors, and it all adds up to a $3 trillion industry.
Wow.
How much is $1 trillion?
A lot of money.
$3 trillion is a stack of $1 bills 208,000 miles high. That's a stack of $1 bills reaching more than 3/4 of the way to the moon.
Holy smokes.
That is their total investment in this industry.
Where do you get these numbers?
I
That's
Googled
what
it.
wanna
I
know.
Googled it.
Those are cool.
I Googled how high is $1 trillion,
that.
and it found $1 trillion and gave me the miles.
There you go.
Yeah. So that is their total investment in this industry.
Google
Now-
it.
Now, here's a point which no one will want to admit, but none of these people make a single penny off of healthy people.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Now, the fact that this country provides them with an endless stream of unhealthy people is irrelevant. This is the $3 trillion. They have a $3 trillion stake in your not being healthy.
Wow.
Okay.
And they have bills to pay. So.
Yeah. They have Mercedes to pay for and boats and
Big
Yeah,
houses,
you ever go
yachts.
into a mechanic shop and nothing's wrong with your car, but when you leave, there is something wrong with your car?
You know, I once had a Honda
big
scooter.
RVs.
I had a Honda scooter. It was, what was it called? I forget. It was the poor man's Goldwing.
Right.
Took it in for its 5,000 miles servicing. It was never the same again.
It's terrible.
Finally, they just admitted they didn't know what was wrong with it. They were just trying things at random. And I eventually had to sell it.
Been there, done that. I had
Yeah.
a guy come out and work on my alternator once. He changed it. That wasn't it. It cost me it was late at night out at Kroger's in Louisville, Kentucky, 1 o'clock in the morning, semi-truck. I don't know, it was like $500 or $600. I went from there to downtown Louisville. The truck died again. Called the guy back, says, well, we'll come back out there, but it'd be another service charge. And he charged me, and I had to pay him before he left. That wasn't it either. So I thought, well, we'll take it over to your shop when the sun comes up, and you guys fix it the next day. Mm-hmm. Took it over there. Was over there 2 or 3 days. Never did find out what was wrong with the truck. Bill ended up being about $1,700. Never found out what was with the truck at all.
That is bad.
Yeah.
So how does that relate to
That's
medicine?
$1,000
Well,
toilet seat.
medical
The
care.
pharmaceutical industry itself is $425 billion. Now, most people's doctors have the letters MD after their names. M stands for medical. Medical is the adjective form of the word medicine. And the simple fact is, medicine, pills, is all your doctor has to work with. It's all he has to offer you. And I'm sure that I have no doubt that most doctors are good, well-intentioned people, and the logic they are following is simple and straightforward. You have an ailment.
You have a symptom.
This medicine treats that ailment. Prescribe that medicine for you.
Sure.
You've got another ailment, another problem. This medicine treats that problem.
Now,
Prescribe it for
You're
you.
using the word ailment. Mm-hmm. Now, you are saying that you have an ailment, but you simply have a symptom to me. It's like the doctor, well, I'll tell him what my symptoms are.
Yeah.
Now, when you say ailment, it's like you found it. You know what it is. But not always when you have a symptom do you know exactly what's wrong with you, correct?
You know, you've got a very good point.
Like your truck.
Exactly. You go to the doctor with a symptom. The doctor prescribes a medicine which treats that symptom.
That symptom. Whether
Yes.
it's actually what's wrong with you or not, he doesn't know that yet, but we're going to try that, correct?
That's correct. That's
Okay.
correct. So you keep coming up with problems. He keeps prescribing medicines for you. Now, I used to think that getting a prescription was like an act of Congress. I used to think you had to catalog your symptoms and your rationales and then take it to your doctor and then supplicate yourself before them and hope that maybe they would write you a prescription. It's not like that at all. A lot of times you just have to ask, hey, I've got this symptom. Can I have something for it? Sure, we'll prescribe that for you. And sometimes you don't even have to ask. Every once in a while, I get a case of plantar fasciitis, which manifests itself as pain in your feet, especially after you've been inactive for a while. Now, for me, there's this medicine called meloxicam, which clears up my plantar fasciitis in 3 doses. Okay? Got a prescription, plantar fasciitis is gone. The next time my wife goes to the doctor refills all of our prescriptions and she comes home with a bottle of 30 meloxicam. I don't need this, and yet here it comes. So the problem is that a lot of doctors just keep on prescribing for every new problem a new prescription. And this is how you wind up with people on 15 or 20 or 25 or 30 different medicines.
Wow.
Yeah. And at that point, side effects start kicking in. Some people will tell you there's no such thing as side effects. There are only effects. There's the effect they want you to buy and the effect that they'd rather you not think about. So with people on that many medicines, likely half the medicines are to counteract the side effects of the other half. So
Makes sense.
yeah,
yes.
and I'm sure some doctors don't realize what they're doing, but I think a lot of people do, and they just keep on prescribing and prescribing and prescribing, and I think there's a reason for that, and that is that they have a very cozy relationship with the pharmaceutical industry, big pharma, those people who manufacture all those pills and that your doctor just keeps prescribing for you. And if I didn't know better, I would say that these two industries are propping each other up. And a lot of doctors will tell you, well, I just write the prescriptions. I have no control over how much the medicine costs. No, but they do have control over how many prescriptions they write. I know one doctor, who shall remain nameless, who puts every one of his patients on Prevacid. Now, Prevacid is a proton pump inhibitor. It is for acid reflux. But he gives it to every single one of his patients, even if they never mention a word about having acid reflux.
Well, that's just crazy.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. They will have acid reflux.
Yes.
Any one of these proton pump
Do that again, Tim. Let me see that again.
proton pump inhibitors, Prevacid, Nexium, Prilosec, omeprazole. Well, that omeprazole is Prilosec. But every one of these, once you start them, very soon you will need them for the rest of your life. And a tablespoon of vinegar a day will do the exact same thing. Okay.
Make it apple cider vinegar.
It tastes better.
It is.
Although it's awful
Sure.
too.
If you got diabetes, you got it even worse. Okay. Now, 30, 40 years ago, blood sugar is measured in milligrams per deciliter or deciliter. And a deciliter is 1/10 of a liter. So that's the scale that they're measuring on. 40 years ago, anything under 150 was fine. 15 years ago, the normal range for blood sugar was 80 to 100. Now, it's 70 to 110. And I actually saw a piece of literature describing the top end of the normal range as 99.
Do you see something happening here, Russ?
Yes. They keep on lowering the normal range.
And what would that affect? I mean, what would happen then? Would they sell more drugs then?
Yes, because every time they do this, out of thin air, they create millions of new diabetics to whom they can now sell expensive testing supplies and medications.
And they create millions of more dollars in income.
Yeah. Now, any diabetic educator will still tell you that anything over 150 is harmful to your body. Doesn't that imply that anything under 150 is not harmful?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. And actually, there is growing evidence now that a lot of the horrible complications from diabetes do not come from high blood sugar levels, but from chronically high insulin levels. So isn't that just a nice self-perpetuating vicious circle?
That is vicious.
Yeah. What else does Big Pharma do? Well, I'm sure a lot of you have heard this about EpiPens. What is an EpiPen? It is epinephrine. It is also called adrenaline. And it is a hormone that your body secretes. But the important point is that if you've got an allergy, which produces in you an anaphylactic reaction, which can be immediately fatal, this is the antidote, the EpiPen. Epinephrine is the cure. EpiPen is the product. Okay. In this lower picture here, you see a syringe full of Narcan. Now, what Narcan does is if you are taking an opiate, the way it affects you is that the molecules of that opiate, opium, heroin, any kind of narcotic, the molecules of that go in and they plug into little receptors in your brain cells. That's how they work. What Narcan, the drug Narcan does is it goes in and it knocks every one of those molecules off of that receptor. Okay? And so the effect is that if you are overdosing on an opiate or a narcotic, this knocks that off and saves your life. Okay? So these are both life-saving medications. The Narcan, if you're a drug addict overdosing on your favorite drug, the Narcan is free to you. If you're a person having an anaphylactic reaction to nuts or a bee sting, the EpiPen is $800. Okay. Now, I'm not making any judgments on either one of these people. I'm just noting a
ever so slight
difference in the way these two are approached. Okay?
Yeah, well, I can make a judgment if you guys need somebody to make a judgment.
Make it.
Sure. I'm valuing the little kid who's having a bee sting reaction a little more than the addict.
Same here.
And
I say put them in a rubber room and turn them loose.
that should be good for a few hate mails right there. Okay?
Not the little kid. I'm talking about the drug addict. I think those people should, I don't know, not die. I don't want to see anybody die, but
that's
still.
a whole other philosophical
You're right.
conversation. And we'll have that one later.
I agree.
Okay. There was a push several years ago to make vitamins available only by prescription. It didn't work, but they sure tried. Now, the purpose of a prescription from your doctor is to make drugs with serious side effects or potentially dangerous drugs more controllable, to make sure that they're not abused. Because we all know that no one ever abused a medicine they had to get a prescription for. Okay? But, so here's a bottle of vitamins. Okay? Costs around $10. Now, let me ask you two questions. If you had to get a prescription for this, is it a dangerous drug that you could abuse and die from? Multivitamin.
Gosh, if you had to get a prescription for it, you would think.
Yeah. Okay, question number 2. If vitamins were available by prescription only, would this bottle of vitamins, which costs about $10 online, would it still cost only $10? Yeah, nope. Probably more like $50 or $75 or $100 a bottle. In this country. Okay. In India, it would probably still cost $10. This is another thing that happens, is that the same drug, the same manufacturer, the same pill, almost always costs much, much less in other countries than it does in the United States. As a matter of fact,
I've heard that.
As a matter of fact, there is a drug that cures hepatitis C, which is a serious disease. In India, it costs $4 per pill. In the United States, it is $1,000 per pill. Now, what could cause this? Do we have 250 times more money to spend on medicines? Absolutely not. Is it American physiology so different from Indian physiology that it takes 250 times more of this medicine to cure us than it does?
Yeah, that's it. No.
Is there 250 times more demand in this country for it than in India?
Yeah, that's it.
No.
Oh, okay.
The fact is, this drug will cure Americans just as much for $4 a pill. So how does this happen? How does it cost 250 times more for this drug in America than in India?
Taxes.
I'm sure that's part of it. But the fact is
Import.
that there is only one entity on Earth that can accomplish something like this. There is only one entity on Earth that can force millions of people to do anything or not do anything. Are you ready for it? Here it is. This says it all. This is what happens when Big Pharma has bought all your politicians. Okay?
Big government.
And is there really any surprise in this? Is there really any mystery?
Wow.
They give you $900 hammers. They give you $3,000 toilet seats. And they give you $1,000 pills.
That's exactly right. That's awful.
Now, how did they do this? Well, one of the big things they did to do this is they passed a law. United States law actually states that only drugs can treat disease. Now, when they make a claim like this, it's either true or it's not true.
I have a feeling it's not true.
Yeah. I mean, if you drink too much alcohol, you'll get drunk. If you don't put any gas in your car, it eventually will stop running. And if you don't pay your taxes, the IRS will come and put you in jail. Hey, I didn't say they were all true. I said they were either true or not true. Okay? My point is that since when is objective fact arrived at by legislation? I mean, does anybody out there realize the implications of this law? Only drugs can cure disease. Let's say you have diabetes. Okay?
Is this mic on?
Yes.
Is anybody listening here?
Let's say you have diabetes, okay? And you go to your doctor and you say, well, I cut sugar out of my diet. I'm taking cinnamon and bitter melon, and I'm exercising every day. I lost the extra weight, and my blood sugar is pretty much under control. It goes high a little bit of the time, but it's mostly in the normal range. I'm controlling it with diet and exercise. And your doctor looks and says, hey, wait a minute. That can't happen. That won't work. No, the law says so. The law says only drugs can treat your disease.
Right.
Well, now, I'll drive home the absolute ridiculousness of this law right now. If I had enough money, I could go buy all of those same politicians. And I could get them to pass a law that says that only Tim's Premium Go-Go Juice can fuel an automobile. And from then on, it would be illegal for you to suggest that gasoline can do the same thing. Even though Tim's Premium Go-Go Juice is made from gasoline. No. From now on, From now on, it's Tim's Premium Go-Go Juice, which I will then be more than happy to sell to you at the low, low price of only $30 a gallon. Are you starting to connect the dots? Okay? So I'm not saying that all doctors are bad people. I'm not saying that Big Pharma cares more about money than about, well, I'm not saying that everyone in Big Pharma cares more about money than about you. I'm not saying every politician is corrupt. What I'm saying is that what should be a simple, private, mutually beneficial transaction between you and your doctor has been polluted and perverted and corrupted into so much by money and politics and ideology that most people don't even recognize what it used to be and what it should be. And this is why we have politicians standing on the floor of Congress saying things like, the Republicans have only one health care plan for you. Die quickly.
And that's what they're doing.
Yeah. There's another guy, he was a politician from New Jersey, who told the Congress that he fought for Obamacare in his state because millions of people didn't have insurance, and now they do. And because of that, those people will live. Okay? Well,
I don't believe that.
And he says this as, that he said it or that it's true?
No, that is true. I don't believe
it.
I believe he said it.
He did say it, as if he personally had saved every one of those people's lives. Now, here's what I'm thinking. If not having health insurance is fatal, and those millions of people didn't have health insurance, why aren't they already dead? Good question.
Yeah.
Good question. These people are metaphorically speaking. These people would have you believe that the road of your life is littered with boards with big, fat, sharp nails sticking out of them. And that is your fate, and only they can redeem you from it. And every time you run over one of those nails, they will be there to patch your tires back up and put you back on the road until you run over another one.
Because they're the only ones that are qualified.
Exactly. And then they will patch your tires up again and put you back on the road until you run over another one. None of them will ever suggest that you go out in the road and take those boards with the big fat nails sticking out and throw them off the road. Okay? They talk as if being healthy without this huge technological medical industry is an unrealistic expectation. They talk as if it's a pipe dream. And I'm here to tell you right now that it is not. What your doctor gives you, for most of the show I've been using health care. That's because what your doctor gives you is medical care. Medical care is not health care. Why? Because medicine is not health. And I'll give you an example of what I mean. Let's take this man right here, okay? He takes 4 medicines for his heart disease, 3 medicines for his high blood pressure, 2 medicines for his diabetes, 1 medicine for his cholesterol, and 3 medicines for his chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. That's 13 different medicines. So he must be really healthy, right? Wrong. He's very sick. If he were healthy, he wouldn't have to take all those medicines. So if medical care is not health care, then what is? Well, the answer to this is the same as it's been since you were a little kid. Eat right and exercise. Is it that simple? No. Let's go into a little of the finer points right now. Healthcare is eating good, nutritious food in the proper amounts. Healthcare is getting enough exercise. It's getting enough sleep. It's drinking enough water. It's not using illicit drugs. It's drinking alcohol in moderation. That is healthcare.
And when was the last time your doctor gave you a prescription for any of that?
Exactly. Problem is, he doesn't make any money off of that. And like I said, it's not to say that he's a bad person, but the fact is, he doesn't make any money off of giving you that advice.
I should say when your doctor enthusiastically gave you that sort of advice. I mean, they all half-heartedly, or mine do, the ones that, they'll say, great job doing this and doing that, but they don't stick with it,
Yeah. Now,
it makes sense. Follow the money.
In making this distinction between health care and medical care, I'm not saying that there is no need for medical care. Okay? Obviously, if you're the victim of some hereditary or environmental disease, I want the doctors to do everything they can for you. If you've been injured, I want the emergency room doctors to patch you up, to help you in any way they can. Even if you have a lifestyle disease that you have simply let progress far enough that you don't have enough of your health left to get the rest back, I still want the medical profession to do everything they can for you. How do you do it? Well, here's how you get started. I've done a little research into this too. First of all, give these 4 things up. First of all, trans fats. Trans fats are artificial chemicals that do what fat does in food, only better. They are stable at room temperature, whereas fats tend to melt or get too soft at room temperature. That's why your Oreos are crunchy at room temperature, because, well, actually, I will give the Oreo Nabisco company credit for this one. They have taken the trans fats out of Oreos. And that is good news, because all the foods that do have trans fats in them, trans fats, just like regular fat, stick to the inside of your arteries. The problem is they are chemically different enough that your body does not recognize them, and your body cannot do anything to clear them out of there. Every molecule of trans fat that ever stuck to the inside of your arteries is still there. You got to look at nutrition labels. If it says partially hydrogenated anything, don't buy it. That's trans fats.
Didn't know that, Tim.
Yeah. Second, high fructose corn syrup. Okay, it's in almost everything these days.
Yeah.
The world obesity epidemic started around the mid-70s, And it is a worldwide epidemic, not just Americans. Farm animals are getting more obese. Guess what was invented in the mid-1970s? High fructose corn syrup.
Oh, my.
Yes. Now, you may have seen some commercials several years back about high fructose corn syrup saying that sugar is sugar. Your body can't tell the difference. Have you noticed you're not seeing those commercials anymore? Do you know why? Because they were lying. What high fructose corn syrup does is it shuts down chemical feedback loops in your body that tell you, I've had enough to eat and I shouldn't eat anymore. And they replace those with chemical feedback loops that say, I need to eat more. You eat more, you get fat. So, no high fructose.
Now, let me ask you, is that something that's in like diet soft drinks? Do they have... So when you...
Not so much diet soft drinks, but like ketchup, bread, just about... I mean, it is amazing how many food information labels you read, and the first or second ingredient is high fructose corn syrup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Third thing, sugar. I know. Cut back sugar as much as you can. And I'm not talking about not spooning it out of the sugar bowl and putting it on stuff. I'm talking about the sugar that is added to over 60% of everything we buy. Added sugar. You don't need it.
I'm reading here recently that sugar, we're all addicted to it.
Yes.
We are.
It does that. And it has that in common with the high fructose corn syrup.
And we are truly addicted like we would be to like an opioid?
I don't know.
I tell you what, I can't get away from it.
Yeah. There are chemical, there are actual definitions to addiction and dependence that I don't know if sugar meets all of them. But the fact is, there is no nutrition in sugar.
Well, now, let me ask you something about that. Is that something that the American Cancer Society came up with, the definition, like they do all these laws that we're supposed to... they're the ones that
I don't know.
are giving you those definitions. Or,
I don't know.
What really is the true definition of? I think we need to Google that.
Yeah, I was not expecting that question, so I did not do any research into that.
I like it.
Yeah, but the fact is, sugar is not it's not a food. It's a fuel, but it's technically not a food, and it has all kinds of bad effects on your bodies. Read those labels. If it has added sugar, try to find an alternative. Oh, I did say 4 things, didn't I? Oh, yeah, and give up diet soda. Okay, there, I said it. Okay.
Why so small print there, Tim?
We're not going to talk about that.
Okay. Come on now, Tim.
Hey, you want to take it up to the next level? Okay, start cutting way back on animal products. Dairy, eggs, cheese, meat. Okay? We are primates. Okay? We share 98% of our DNA with chimpanzees. Chimpanzees eat meat once in a blue moon. And when they do, it's usually another chimpanzee. So, hey, how's that an example to follow?
Ew.
Okay. 95% of their diet is vegetarian.
Ew.
Gorillas, 100% of their diet is vegetarian. Most of the monkeys in the world, vegetarians. The natural primate diet is a vegetarian diet. Okay? And you hear people say, but we need meat, don't we? We need meat to get that good protein, to build muscles, right?
B12.
Yes. Well,
B1.
chimpanzees are 5 times as strong as human beings. You do the math.
You know, we used to be like that until, what was it like back in the 40s or maybe even farther back when, what was it was introduced into our diets that caused a lot of our energy and strength and all that to drop? Was it like too many carbohydrates or?
Well, carbohydrates, there is only 3 kinds of food, really, when you break it down chemically. Proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. And you do need a good balance of those. But I will tell you one thing. The 4 food groups had nothing to do with nutrition. The 4 food groups were an economic plan to support the beef industry. and the dairy
And
industry.
agricultural
and
industry.
agriculture in general. Okay.
I read that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, like I said, we need meat, right, to build that muscle? Well, take a look at this. This is a picture of 100 calories of broccoli and 100 calories of steak. The fact is, there is more protein in that broccoli than there is in that steak. And in this case, it really is true. Protein is protein. Your body can't tell the difference. Okay? So those are just, here's another thing you can do. Start shopping around the periphery of the grocery store. Stay out of the aisles. What's around the edge of the grocery store?
Vegetables.
Vegetables, bakery, dairy. Even if you're going to keep that stuff in your diet, stay out of the aisles, because what's in the aisles? The salt, the fat, the sugar, the trans fats, the processed stuff. Okay? So that can get you started. Okay? The other half, exercise. I don't know how to put this walking on eggshells. I don't know how to soften it or pussyfoot around it. Get off your butt and move. Okay? Your body will only do what you demand of it. If a bodybuilder did nothing but sit around on a couch, guess what? He wouldn't have those muscles. Your body will only do what you demand of it, and if all that is sitting on a couch, there will come a day when that is all you are able to do. Okay?
You know, key is lifestyle. You need to change your lifestyle, and you need to be consistent. And you need support.
Consistency.
So go that way.
Yes, and consistency and support are very important.
Friends doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Eating right, cooking together.
So what are we talking about? Exercise? Well, the guideline, a very good guideline that I've seen is at least 45 minutes of hard aerobic exercise 6 days a week. And good hard weight training at least 2 days a week. And you might say, oh, I can't do that. I'm in horrible shape. If I tried to do aerobic exercise for 45 minutes, I'd have a heart attack. Well, not true, because the more out of shape you are, the less exertion it takes to get you into your aerobic zone. Walking is a perfectly good way to start. Okay? But you've got to push yourself. You must develop the ability to do things you don't like doing.
Now, where he's coming from there is, like, if you don't have a routine at all, anything you do is going to be more than what you're doing now. And that in itself might bring you up to that zone that he just mentioned.
Exactly.
So don't worry about that, and you will just work yourself on up from there.
And the best thing is, your body will not become addicted, but your body will become so accustomed to exercise over time that you will miss it. Your body will miss it. Your body will crave it. It'll cry out for it.
And you will gain energy. You will gain energy from it. You will feel better. You'll see.
Now, you may ask, what about me? Do I put my money where my mouth is? Well, yes. I eat a salad every day. This is another simple thing you can do. Eat more fruits and vegetables. Eat vegetables every day, every meal. Raw vegetables, cooked vegetables. And I do that now. I mean, there was a time when I didn't eat any better than anybody else. But now I eat a salad every day. I eat fruit every day. Raw vegetables, cooked vegetables. But what I have done recently that I am most proud of is I have broken that psychological barrier. Our need as Americans to have meat as the centerpiece of every meal is purely cultural and psychological. It has nothing to do with nutrition. And these days, like I said, I've broken through that barrier. I eat plenty of meals now that are meatless, and I don't care. If the food is tasty, I don't care whether it's meat or not. If I can do that, you can do that too. Exercise? Well, yes. I like to change it up a little bit. When it's warm enough, what I'm doing now is I'm riding my bicycle to work. I don't know how far it is, but it takes me a half hour to get there, a half hour to get back. When I get to work, I feel great. I have energy that lasts me the whole day. And the nice thing is, when I ride back home, if I drive my truck to work, I get home from work, I'm not motivated to exercise. If I'm on my bike, it's already done when I get home. And
by the way, that's about an hour of aerobic exercise he's put in every day.
Well, not 5 days a week, but
pretty effortlessly.
Yeah, and it is actually a pleasant experience. And you might think that it takes a whole lot more time. It takes a half hour for me to get to work on my bike. It takes 15 minutes for me to get to work in my truck. It's only twice as fast driving my truck.
And he changed his lifestyle a little bit there, like we talked about earlier. Mm-hmm. It's all about changing your lifestyle and getting into that routine, get your kids into it, get your wife into it, or your spouse.
I fully realize it's hard. It is hard. For the longest time, I didn't enjoy exercise. By the way, I said when it's warm enough, I ride my bike. In the wintertime, I do step aerobics, which these guys are doing here. And that gets your entire body, takes less time because you're working your entire body. And I fully realize it's hard. I have actually met people who said they would choose heart disease and diabetes over vegetarianism. Well, change your life in these ways, change your lifestyle in these ways, and I guarantee you will be healthier. You will have less of a need for medical care. Okay? So, if you truly believe that you have a right to health care, well then, give yourself some. I'm going to recommend 3 books to you tonight. 2 that I did not write, 1 that I did. The first one is Eat to Live by Dr. Joel Fuhrman. This book has evidence, it has rationales, it has an explanation explaining the immense benefits of a whole foods plant-based diet. It's also got a companion cookbook. We have this at home. Lots of really tasty recipes that do not contain animal products. By the way, it is not 100% vegetarian. Dr. Fuhrman calls it a nutritarian diet. It still has some animal products, once or twice a week. Okay? The second book is Younger Next Year by Chris Crowley and Henry Lodge, MD. This explains the marvelous life-extending benefits of exercise. And it explains the biology that's going on in your body. And it literally is true. You're either living or dying. You're sitting there in front of the TV. You're either living or you're dying. This book explains to you how you can go from one to the other. And last but not least, Dangerous Subversive Heresies by Tim Ritalik.
Oh, yeah.
Right here.
Yeah. If you're a conservative, wouldn't you like to have a better handle on why you believe what you believe? It's in here. 22 different subjects. I guarantee you it will be the most enjoyable book you've read on politics.
Tim, I got to say that whether you're a liberal or a conservative or a liberal, this book would be a great book for you to read.
Yes. If you are a liberal, then you truly care about the truth. You truly care about having an open mind and learning new things and treating everyone equally. Well, this book can show you how to do that. And if you never listen to your opponent's argument, how can you truly know if the truth is on your side? And if the truth really is on your side, what do you have to fear?
Read the books. It's a great book.
Well, once again, we'd like to give you a few ways you can start sharing this program. You can subscribe to Jackie Smith's YouTube channel. You can see all the episodes there. You can also find us at kmmsr.com. That is Jackie's blog. There you can see all episodes of Dangerous Subversive Radio.
Hey, Tim, that's actually COMMSR.com. COMMSR.com.
COMMSR.com. Okay.
You're thinking of the radio station.
Yeah. You can always find me. I'm on Facebook. You can come and either praise me or condemn me. Just don't call me late for dinner.
You know,
That's
guys,
right.
I'm on Facebook too, and I know both of these guys. So if you have anything that you want to say about anything that you can relay it through me. I'd love to hear from you. So any of these subjects or any of these shows that he's got out, you get to listen to them. Let me know what you think too if you get around to it, and I'll send it along to these guys too. Love to hear from you.
Dangerous Subversive Heresies, the most enjoyable book on politics you will ever read.
I agree.
You will have fun reading it.
It's funny.
And that's going to wrap it up for episode 7. I hope you come back for episode 8. I hope you bring some friends. I hope you grow to be 100 million strong. But right now, we hope you have a good night.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.